New at 9, it's the day students work hard for, graduation. But the smarter students won't get the coveted gig of valedictorian or salutatorian anymore. An Ohio school making headlines after doing away with the tradition. The school says it creates an unhealthy competitiveness among students, and they hope the change will improve students' mental health. Well, we've brought in Dr. Keita Joy with more on this. Good morning to you. It is good to see you. Yes. I have my own personal feelings about this because I am a parent. I always teach my children to be as competitive as they can be in today's environment. And so when you get rid of something like that, it seems, so why be competitive? Why strive to get the best grade you possibly can if you're taking this away?
Right, and I get that, and so I've heard a lot of feedback from different people.
Probably from both sides. People probably maybe feel differently.
Yeah, both sides of the spectrum. You know, some people feel exactly like you, like, man, my kids work hard, and this is part of the reward for working hard. And then other people feel like, well, maybe when is too much? When is it too much? When's enough enough? And so I look at it as this, as a business owner, as a life coach, all businesses are always customer-centered. Literally, in a week, if they think that something else needs to happen to help their customer, they will shift everything just for the customer. But in the school system, sometimes we lack in that approach. And so I commend them on having that customer-centered attitude, that mindset, saying, you know what, I see my student population. I see the high anxiety and stress that they're facing. We're still going to reward them for their academic achievements, but let's take away valedictorian. Because a lot of them, they were taking all these extra classes solely just to be valedictorian. To have that top GPA. So it wasn't even about academic progress anymore. It wasn't about magna cum laude, summa cum laude. It was literally everyone fighting for this one spot.
So let me ask you then about this, because you mentioned kind of the stress level and people taking these extra classes and that kind of thing. Are there warning signs that perhaps teachers can look for then if they see that some of these students who are trying to strive for this level of greatness that only a couple of students achieve? Are there some warning signs that they can then look for to maybe assist these particular students?
Exactly. So you want to look at the symptoms. So if you look at students and now they used to be active and involved on campus and all of a sudden they're to themselves, they're more withdrawn, they're staying away from their friends and family, and that's what was happening with a lot of these students. They were giving up extracurricular activities. They didn't want to spend time with their family and friends on the weekend anymore. It was just literally, I have to have this certain GPA and I don't want to do anything else. So when you start to see erratic behavior, things that are abnormal, not what they usually do, that's a big sign that that teenager is probably experiencing high levels of anxiety.
So let me ask you this with just about a minute to go. What about the notion of defining your own version of success? And that version may include being valedictorian, right? But it is about defining your own version of success.
Yes, and that's what I believe as a life coach. Success Uncensored is really figuring out, defining success for yourself. But when you're a teen, you need help. So that's where the parents come in.
Sure, absolutely.
The parents have to sit down with the teens and help them figure out what matters most to you. Let's focus on that. Don't get caught up in people pleasing, because that's that competitive spirit. It's great and it's healthy, but if you go too far, now you're people pleasing and you forget what matters most to you. And you're just focusing on keeping up with the Joneses, being cool, because that's what everybody else is doing, and you forgot what matters most to you.
And let me tell you what's so funny these days. My son, who's 15, has a 4.0. He won't even be close to valedictorian this year. You, 4.6, 4.8.
Some of them are getting up to 5.0. And that's their thing. They said, you know what? We care about our students. Forget society standards. I want to make sure that I'm helping my students be the healthiest, personally and professionally. And I commend them for having that mindset.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I can certainly understand that as a parent. I appreciate you as a fellow parent.
That's right.
Joy, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Amy, over to you.